Trump barred Pence's chief of staff from the White House after the president attacked Pence for not trying to overturn the election. The TLDR of this, let me zoom. TLDR of this, Mark Short, Vice President Mike Pence's chief of staff, was barred from the White House on Wednesday after President Trump criticized Pence for refusing to attempt to overturn the election. Trump had urged Pence to challenge the Electoral College results, even though the vice president did not have the authority to do so. When Pence said that he would not go along with the president's demands, Trump said the vice president, quote, didn't have the courage to do what should have been done. Vice President Mike Pence's chief of staff, Mark Short, was barred from the White House on Wednesday after President Donald Trump criticized Pence for refusing to attempt to overturn the election, Bloomberg journalists first reported. I am super curious why he would bar the fucking chief of staff for doing that, unless this is just escalation. Also, I heard that Trump unfollowed Pence. Does anyone know if that's true? On Twitter. Short said Trump barred him from the grounds because the president was blaming him for advice he gave to Pence, according to the Real Clear Politics reporter Philip Wegman. Short did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Insider. Pence was tasked with overseeing a joint session of Congress on Wednesday in which the Electoral College votes, already certified by all 50 states, would be counted in a process that is usually nothing more than procedural. It's incredible how we have to stop and reflect on how important these moments are for our country because of the shit that Trump has done. Before, this was just a boring, as expected. And, this would have been way more exciting and relevant if people had said, hey, we as your electors, the Electoral College, have deemed that Donald Trump is not the president, even though he's for our party. Both parties come together and say, we've realized that the American people have been duped, and I might have been cool with that. That would have been a moment for something like this to happen, but no, and just a general democratically elected blah, blah, blah. I mean, the point of the Electoral College to me was to stop someone like Trump from becoming a thing, but here we are. Anyway, Trump had urged Pence to challenge the results during the session, even though the vice president did not have the authority to do so. Before the session, which was interrupted by a violent mob of Trump supporters, Pence released a statement saying he would not be following Trump's demands. It is my considered judgment that my oath to support and defend the Constitution constrains me from claiming unilateral authority to determine which electoral votes should be counted and which should not, he said. The president responded, criticizing Pence in a tweet that has since been hidden by Twitter. Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution, giving states a chance to certify a corrected set of facts, not the fraudulent or inaccurate ones which they were asked to previously certify. USA demands truth. God, I hate Trump's Twitter. The vice president is thought to be considering a presidential run in 2024, though his political ambitions could become complicated by Trump's criticism near the end of their term. And that's it. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. This president of our United States, of these here United States, calling for dissent against a democratic election. But at the same time, who's surprised? Lycan isn't. Are you surprised? You shouldn't be. Fuck. Super curious. I tell you what, if I've picked up anything from Destiny's vernacular, it's been fucking super curious. Let's watch this and see what he has to say while we eat. Yesterday, all my problems seem so far away.
Today was a sad day, as we all know. It was the day where fire stoked by the president and other leaders finally leapt out of the pit, and it lit the trees. Thankfully, the strength of our Constitution and democracy held, and we emerged today a little battered, but resolved. What happened yesterday is a wake-up call to many, but it's a call to accountability for others. In the past few presidencies, the administrations have been so concerned about even a moment of weakness that the 25th Amendment was invoked during minor surgeries, passing the duties to the vice president while the president was under anesthesia, because even for that moment to have the captain of the ship absent could cause a major catastrophe. Sadly, yesterday, it became evident that not only has the president abdicated his duty to protect the American people and the people's house, he invoked and inflamed passions that only gave fuel to the insurrection that we saw here. When pressed to move and denounce the violence, he barely did so, while of course victimizing himself and seeming to give a wink and a nod to those doing it. All indications are that the president has become unmoored, not just from his duty, nor even his oath, but from reality itself. It is for this reason that I call for the vice president and members of the cabinet to ensure the next few weeks are safe for the American people, and that we have a sane captain of the ship. Section 4 of the 25th Amendment allows a majority of the cabinet and the vice president to assume the duties of the office of presidency until the president is able to himself. It's time to invoke the 25th Amendment and to end this nightmare. We will arise from this, but we cannot forget what led us here. The liars and conspiracy authors are already at it again this morning with false narratives about yesterday's disaster. Here's the truth. The president caused this. The president is unfit, and the president is unwell. And the president must now relinquish control of the executive branch voluntarily or involuntarily. God bless you, and God bless our enduring democracy.
I don't know this guy, so I don't know his history. Hello, Dan. That podcast has been on hiatus for a while now, but I appreciate your concern for my content. Good morning to you, friend. With regards to this dude, I don't know his history. So this is one of those moments where I want to see how much has he flirted with Trump's bad shit for his own benefit. But that said, I see someone in the comments saying, come over to the other side, Adam. We have cookies and decency left. And then someone else responds with something about like all decent Americans should be switching to being Republicans. I don't know what this person's talking about. I think if I understand what they're saying don't force everyone out of the GOP, force the shitty people out of the GOP. And I can be okay with that, because I think my ideal American turn is that we have come to a point where people leave the Republican Party. I'm sorry. What I don't like the idea of is all the good people leaving the Republican Party, becoming liberals, and then we just have that fucking party of psychos that a bunch of people are still going to support. I'd rather the Republicans deal with their shit, get over hating gays, hating black people, hating other people of color, and changing their views on a lot of stuff that we have found through science and data and whatever else is the proper way to handle things, such as the drug war, such as prison reform, police reform, etc. And then we can just go to fucking debating about, policy and philosophy on how to handle certain issues, where it's not them denying that these issues exist, not denying that these issues are a problem, but instead focusing on the good stuff, which is, how do we handle it? I would like us to handle it this way. I would like us to handle it that way. That's the kind of conversations I want, not this partisan bullshit. So I think this is a pivotal point for the Republican Party where we can hope that they turn their shit around and they oust all these fuckers that would in any way not denounce or have a come to Jesus moment about what led to yesterday's events. You want to be the next guest, Hark Dan? Exactly. Like, I want to, like I could see a world where conservatives are arguing that, hey, colleges, exceeded the inflation rate as they jacked up for-profit prices to match the demand of college rather than, what it actually costs to run a college, right? They see that more and more people are being told as they grow up from the 80s on, you have to get a degree, you have to go to college, you have to do what I didn't do, you have to seek a high-skilled job, whatever. And colleges, in turn, profited off of it. A much simpler but similar example is when states started making it required that everyone have auto insurance premiums went up. It's natural. It's business. It's the world. But I think I could see a world where the government tries to maybe subsidize, like the left wants to subsidize or manage student debt or remove student debt. And conservatives want to just, handle the people here now and then put some regulation. I know, conservatives, regulation, right? and put some regulations on schools where they have to like reel in their prices to kind of make it so a student can actually afford to work and go to school without killing themselves. Maybe we need a reform of college. Like we always argue about, well, you need a well-rounded education. I can agree with that. I think everyone should. I think we should be exposed to new ideas and new subjects, and you shouldn't just go into school and focus on like your IT courses, right? But maybe 4 years is a little much. Maybe reduce the amount of unnecessary courses. Jesse, did you ask a question? I'm sorry, I missed it. It was a Dan sandwich. I was focused more on that sexy man from Florida than I was on you. I apologize. Not that you aren't very noteworthy. Do you want to see a lot more arrests? I want those people. Every person that can be identified needs to be arrested and charged. And tried. I don't know what statute insurrection is charged under, but yeah, I think anyone participating in that. Now here's like my charitable take, right? My charitable take is that I don't think we should be looking for blood for all 100,000 people should be locked up, jailed, insurrection, right? Some people just get caught up in the moment, but I think a lot of people do need to be charged with like some sort of attempted treason. Yes. Attempted coup as they came for the votes. They came to disrupt the certification of the election. It does bother me. Like, Ted Cruz's wife was insulted by Trump. And I would love to know what conversation happened between him and his wife.
Offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
I want to know what conversation happened between Ted Cruz and his wife after that, where Ted's like, listen, I know he's a piece of shit, but I can't shit on him because he's now the party. Or I don't know. There had to have been some moment. I can't imagine any of my partners that would have been okay with me just letting him shit talk them on national TV and me not say a single fucking thing about it. Ooh, does anyone have a link to Holly's speech? I heard that was fucking wicked. In a bad way. He's definitely Trump's cuck, that's for sure. Oh, yeah. Every time I see Nick Fuentes from a relatively mainstream conservative pundit, I get acknowledgement. It makes me really, really sad. What's this? Many journalists are falsely claiming that I was photographed in Nancy Pelosi's office with baked Lhasa. This is fake news. I did not enter the Capitol building. I was outside on the lawn wearing a completely different outfit. Defamation. Oh, yeah, no. Wait, hold on. That seems to be the case. I mean, was that him outside? I don't know. I want proof that that was from that day, because that really looks like Nick Fuentes. I mean, it looks just like Nick Fuentes. But at the same time. My name is Larkin. Please subscribe to my channel, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. I need your subs and I need your support so I can grow my shit bigger. Please, oh please, I don't need donations. Just need your follows and adorations. Please, 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 please like, subscribe, and follow.